I don't know about you guys, but when I forgot nearly everything about this episode upon my first watch, I have to admit the second watch of this episode, with it being humorous and also taking the situation seriously, it's honestly impressive that Steven Universe can take a situation seriously but also having humor along the way. After the events from the previous episodes, Adventures in Light Distortion centers around Steven and the Crystal Gems using the warming eye that they had from the events of Season 3 where the Rubies got separated into space. They used it to head their way to the destination where Greg is at, but unfortunately, it takes a long time to get there, and the only way for them to get to their destination is to use the gravity engine to head there faster, but this leads to the Crystal Gems being into different forms. Mainly the fact that the form that they had the first time was in the same form as the Rubies, and I gotta be really real with you. This is where the humor comes into play, which really sums up the fact that this episode can do both of taking the situation seriously while being comedic at the same time. Now, the seriousness in this episode is the fact that they're gonna be going to outer space for the first time officially, not counting the attempts that they had in the past, mainly the space episode centered around Steven and Paul while they were almost into outer space, and the last episode of Season 3, Bubbled. In this, they need to figure out some other ways to get to the destination faster, but unfortunately the only way for that to happen is to turn on the engine, the gravity engine. And the fact that there's a diamond size option kind of shows that there are different types of warming eyes that the gems and diamonds made back at Homeworld. Because even though that they have higher advanced ships that the diamonds can be in that were showed in the final episodes of Season 5, I can't deny that with these elements that had a warming eye that is too small in the outside, but when it comes to the inside, I can guarantee that there's an alternative on making the inside of the ship bigger and also smaller. But I would lie to say that Steven was only doing this to be playful and just having fun with the gems, because since that he's taking the situation seriously, this is no laughing matter. Honestly, the fact that he doesn't understand how to work with these gem equipments, it kind of shows that if he had the knowledge on the gem equipment, then his character would have taken a different turn, either for the best or for the worst. And when it comes to the worst, it's mainly the development that he received in the way that these episodes are structured. Especially when it leads to him causing so much problems with the gravity engine. The warming eye went into hyperspace while his friends are just in their gems. They're not in their original forms. Which really shows that the seriousness in this episode showcases that Steven blames himself for causing most of the stuff to happen by having Greg getting captured by Blue Diamond, and this leads to him having no way to reverse the whole gravity engine. It's a good thing that Steven didn't get the development of him learning more about technology when it comes to gems, because we wouldn't be able to have this moment alone while he blames himself. Honestly, he shouldn't be the one to blame, considering that his curiosity involving Pink Diamond is way more important, since that it got to a point where Paul can't be able to hide it anymore, all the while that Garnet is just trying to make sure that Steven doesn't do anything that would lead to them going to outer space. But in all honesty, knowing full well that Steven is Rose's son and he's willing to do anything to figure out more, I can't really blame him for doing the decisions that he did in this episode and the last episode. Especially when it leads to more events that centers around the diamonds themselves. Since that we got the introduction of Blue Diamond in the last episode, I am looking forward to their song in the episode that I'm going to be tackling in the next 2 days. It really shows that this moment alone is the development that we would expect from Steven Universe, all the while witnessing more elements along the way. While this episode is a prologue of the Zoo episodes, I have to admit it was still entertaining and also wholesome at the same time when it comes to Steven's development. I'm giving this episode an 8 out of 10.